Time once again for another edition of Shelton City Council Looking Ahead with City Manager Mark Ziegler and Mark. Budget all over the next meeting on Tuesday, but at the very top, very important swearing in for your new police chief and police captain. Let's talk about that first.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. It's a little bit of a change for our police department, but I think it's a really positive opportunity for what was former Captain Kostad, now to be Chief Kostad, who's spent over 16 years here at the Shelton Police Department. Have the opportunity to lead that department, continue the training program and the best practices policies that it have put forth. It's worked so hard in with the accreditation program. We were just affirmed by the Washington State Sheriffs and Police Chiefs Association for accreditation for 4 more years, which is a major accomplishment. Opens the city up for some grant programs we wouldn't have had available to us, as well as lower insurance rates that helps our entire community. So Chief Kostad's been instrumental in the lead in this process now for the last year. Captain Patton, who has been a sergeant in the police department for he's been with the department about 14 years. Been a sergeant for a few years now. Just this past summer, graduated from the FBI Academy back east. So I'm happy to take advantage of those individuals that have put so much time and effort into improving themselves and improving our community, and let them take on a leadership role in our police department. So it's really exciting for them personally and for us as a city.
So now let's talk about the budget. Several items on the agenda relating to the budget. We've talked about it, the numbers, the property taxes, the B&O. Which one would you like to start with?
Let's start the budget. So 2024 budget, we're coming back excuse me, to the council for approval Tuesday the 21st. This is not the first time they've seen it. In fact, we have tried to be as transparent as possible with the council and with the community. We have monthly budget reports. As you remember, and maybe some folks out there remember, the supplemental budget that was approved last July. That kind of chewed up our general fund, made a lot of changes, and kind of kicked us off towards budget formulation for 2024, and kind of what we're presenting to council as a final budget for next year. It adopts a balanced budget, which we did not adopt in 23. We adopted deficit budget in 23. So our expenditures were exceeding the revenues in the general fund. So we've chewed those up through reduction of services to an extent, customer service and some removal of some positions here. So we're without affecting public safety and some of the other critical services like streets, fire protection, and army control. So we're quite happy that we're able to present that budget for council again for their consideration. But we continue to face growing costs like everybody with inflation and employment. So at the same time, the council is considering the increase of 1.10% for business and inflation caps. In the city of Shelton, it's currently at 0.1%. So statutorily, state law allows for anywhere to 10% upward. The city council is considering that for our long-term financial viability. As we look out to 25 and 26 and 27, which is proven. In our case, we can't just look year to year. We're looking out that far, and our costs, continue to escalate beyond the revenues, the existing revenues so far. So we're looking forward to that And that unit tax really kind of carries us out through the next 3 or 4 years. In a way that keeps us sustainable and keeps essential city services for staff and for the country.
So you got new numbers, or you got the proper numbers for your property tax. Do you have a specific number for people? I mean, you get the 1% increase. Do you have that broken down into what they may see in their property taxes?
No, actually, the county would determine that after we adopt the ad valorem. The ad valorem is 1%. I believe that's about $36,000 in total to the city, 1% in general property tax increase. So that's spread out depending on what your valuation does. That's how it'll affect the individual property owner. So that gets redistributed based on the county's assessment of properties. Again, that 1%. So, and frankly, what the individual sees, they have to go in and look at their tax statement to see it broken down between state schools, local schools, county, SMPD, which Metropolitan Park District, and the other taxing authorities that they see. So, and we provide that history, but our total increase is just about $35,000.
You mentioned this Shelton Metropolitan Park District. That's got a budget as itself, and that's also before the city council meeting.
Exactly.
The park board will take a look at that, right?
Park board goes through the exact same process, and the park board is the city council, required by state law. The park district has the same geographic boundaries as the city of Shelton. So that's an efficiency for our community. We don't have a separate board, separate legislative body. They can conduct business kind of parallel with the city council. The city operates parks and recreation services and reimbursed by the park district. So there's some continuity and consistency with the city has seen the community has seen there. A number of years since the park district was formed in April of 2010.
So that's all Tuesday night. You obviously want to hear from the public if they have a comment about the budget or anything on the agenda, or not on the agenda for that matter. 5:45 in the courtroom at the Civic Center. You can check it out in person, on Zoom, or watch it on the city's YouTube channel. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.